Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, these products are the ones that I would purchase if I lost all of my makeup collection, everything that I own. These would be the drugstore products that I would immediately go out to Target and purchase, order online at Ulta, or go into Ulta stores and pick up, because these are fantastic products that I honestly cannot be without. So if that sounds good, then just continue watching. I'm going to go in the order that I would apply these products because I think that would keep it a little bit more organized and a little bit more helpful. So let's go ahead and jump in with the first step of my routine, which is primers. For primers, I have two options. The first one is the Liquid Poreless Putty Primer from e.l.f. And then of course, my Conceal and Perfect Blowout Primer from Milani. This is the one that I would use in the areas where I have larger pores and I want to look more minimized, more airbrushed, and just a little bit more smooth. That's where I would use this. I did use that today through the T-zone. And then the Liquid Putty from e.l.f. I used on the parameters of my face. This is actually a very good, very basic type of primer that anybody can use. So if you wanted something that was very simple, something that I could use honestly with any foundation, whether it's powder, whether it's liquid, a stick, this would be it. But I do have larger pores, so I always find myself reaching for this one. So I would buy both of these ASAP. For my foundation product, I actually just have one. I do have a powder foundation, but I'm going to put that into the powder category just because I don't use it as my main foundation. So the one that I would definitely buy without even thinking twice is the Skin Tint from L'Oreal. You will see a lot of L'Oreal products in this video because that's one of my favorite brands at the drugstore. I think it's one of the best that you can buy. I love their products. I love this product specifically because it gives me that coverage. It looks natural. I have this on today and I can build this up if I want more coverage in the troublesome areas. I can use less just to even things out. It wears well, looks beautiful on the skin. I really don't have anything negative to say except for maybe the packaging, but I've honestly figured out a way to kind of work around that and it just doesn't bother me anymore because I love this product so much. I'm going to continue using it and I would definitely buy this again. I've got one concealer. This is the Infallible Full Cover Concealer that I would definitely pick up in a heartbeat because it's one that I can actually use for that full coverage look under the eyes. If I have darker circles, if I'm not sleeping well, if I'm not feeling great. I'm a little under the weather right now and this definitely helped conceal the under eyes that were looking a little rough, I would have to say. A little rough, but I can also use just a tiny bit to just kind of brighten the under eyes. I can also use this to spot conceal any specific areas on the face. I love this because it never looks heavy. It doesn't look like it's too much. Doesn't make my under eye area look older or drier, or it doesn't settle too much into the fine lines. And I have that issue with concealers kind of creasing on me. It's going to happen to everyone pretty much because that eye area, that skin moves when you talk, when you blink, when you look around, that moves. So this is one of my go-tos that I feel that works pretty much with any foundation, no matter what time of the day it is. This is one that I'm going to go for. This is my most reach for concealer from the drugstore in my current collection. This next product I'm going to throw in towards the end of the complexion based products, and that's the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. This I've used before in previous videos as my main complexion product, so skipping the Skin Tint from L'Oreal for a just more minimal kind of makeup, just quicker to get ready, streamlining the process. I've also used this underneath this product, underneath other foundations, as a primer, as a kind of skin boost. Today I actually have it on my upper body to give me a little bit more of a tint and a little bit more of a glow. It's one of those products that is multi-use. I can use this, like I said, on its own as a primer, mixed into foundations. I can use it on the body. I can put it into my moisturizer with my skincare routine. Like, there's so many things that you can do with this. And the shade that I have is medium 903. I feel like that's a nice kind of little tint without being too dark and not too light where you don't really see it. And the glow on this is absolutely beautiful. Moving into the powder category, the pressed powder that is actually a foundation, it's a powder hybrid, is the Superstay from Maybelline. I would purchase this for those moments where I have blush blindness and I go a little overboard. I will use this to kind of tone down the blush. I won't use this as my main foundation just because I don't typically do a lot of powder foundations. I would just stick to the Skin Tint from L'Oreal. And speaking of L'Oreal, without a doubt, this would probably be one of the first products that I put into my basket at Target. It's the Infallible Blurfection powders. I recently went to Target and there was just a few of the pink ones left. The setting spray was almost sold out. There was one left. Like, people are catching on to how good these are. These powders are wonderful. I use the pink one today to brighten and set my under eye area, which is typically what I do with that shade. And then this other one is the Translucent Light, which I would use if I want to use powder on the face to set my foundation. I would go with the lighter shade, not necessarily anything with a pink tone around the whole face. The pink is just for the under eyes, but this powder is finely milled. It actually sets, it blurs. It's like applying a filter in a powder. You just put this on, you can put it on. I did today with the little sponge that's damp. Powder puff, a brush, any form of application that you do with this powder. It is absolutely beautiful, and it truly does blur the skin. I think this is probably the most blurring powder that I have in my collection that's drugstore. And if I'm talking in my collection completely, this would be in my top two. Top two, definitely, for sure. And we can't forget about the classic, the old school, the one that started it all, the Maybelline Loose Powder, the Fit Me line. The shade that I have is Fair Light. This is great. This is very comparable to the Huda Beauty. So if I was replacing my collection and I was sticking to drugstore, I would get this to help give me that sort of filtered effect, that blurred look, set the makeup, just kind of like the L'Oreal ones, but be a substitute for the Huda Beauty in my collection. Since we did technically lose everything, this is the one that I would buy. Taking some coffee break pauses in between. So let's move on to bronzers. I've got three. So I'm going to start off with my cream, the Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer from Milani. No-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. This, I will say it till I'm blue in the face. This formula performs better than any high-end cream bronzer or stick or liquid or powder that I own in my collection. Hands down, this is the best. This is the best cream bronzer, hands down, at the drugstore. This I would definitely buy. And again, wouldn't think twice about that. For powders, I have two. The Silky Matte Powder from Milani is great. It's matte, but it's silky, it's smooth, it's not dry, it's not chalky, it doesn't look weird, the tone is just right. They have different shades. You can pick one that matches your skin tone best. And then, of course, L'Oreal, the Infallible Bronzer. I actually broke mine not that long ago, and I was so upset about that. I have this on today with the Milani cream bronzer, and I use the powder to set that cream. So this one I love because it gives you that sort of, honestly, a high-end look. High-end look, high-end feel with the L'Oreal products. I just love the formula, the color, the blend. It never skips, never drags, never kind of clings to a certain area. It goes over powders, creams. Beautiful, absolutely wonderful bronzer formula at the drugstore. These two powders are where it's at. Moving on to blush, I have two different brands for liquid blushes, so I'm going to just kind of talk about them at the same time. So the Sun Kisser blushes from Maybelline, and then the Lumi liquid blushes from L'Oreal. Both are absolutely beautiful. What I've been doing a lot lately is mixing shades, creating my own sort of custom color based off of my mood. I did that today. I took the lightest shade in the Maybelline Sun Kisser, and I mixed it with the shade called Dewy Rich Coral from L'Oreal. And that's what gave me that really pretty kind of soft, light, kind of corally, peachy tone. And I just love mixing these, but individually they're wonderful. They're pigmented, they're creamy, blendable, smooth. They never look heavy. That is, of course, unless you put too much on, like I do, which is, okay, where this powder from Maybelline comes into play. Tone it down so we don't have blush blindness and we don't look crazy out in public. These are wonderful. I love them. I just don't have anything negative to say about this formula. I think this is the best liquid blush that you can get at the drugstore. I said it. This is the best. And I have to throw in a powder blush because I do like powder blushes and I reach for those often. So if I had to go to the drugstore and pick a brand, I would go to the Milani brand and I would pick one of their baked blushes that have a little bit of a sheen. This is Dolce Pink. Mine is broken, so I can't open it and show you because it'll literally go everywhere. I have that over the top of that mixture that I made with the liquid blushes today. And this gives the most beautiful kind of sheen, ethereal glow to the skin where it looks healthy. It's not like a disco ball. It's not pieces of glitter. And what's beautiful about this baked formula, or baked formulas in general, is that they start off as creams. They're baked like you're baking a batch of cookies in an oven, and the way they glide and blend onto the skin, they become one with the skin, one with your foundation, so it almost looks seamless, smooth, blendable. This is what you need. Let's move on to the eye category, and let's start off with some eyeshadows. I'm going to go with my singles first. I definitely have to include some type of shadow stick, and my favorite formula, hands down, is the one from L'Oreal, the Lace Shadow Sticks. Colourpop makes some good ones. CoverGirl has good ones as well, but I would definitely go to L'Oreal first and pick up one of the bronzy tones because that's the typical shade that I like to wear most days. So I would definitely pick up one of those. I can't do this video without talking about my love for the Kiko water shadows. These are incredible. You can wear them dry, you can dampen it with a brush and make it into a more metallic, more cream liquid type of formula. Absolutely stunning. The color range is beautiful and you can get these at Ulta, and I would definitely, without a doubt, pick these up. Shade 200 specifically. I've talked this shade into the ground. I wear this almost every single day when I'm not filming, and that's what that shade looks like. So I would definitely buy this. I wouldn't even think twice. I would probably buy 2 of them. If I lost my collection, I'm like, nope, that ain't happening again. I'm gonna be stocked with those. So I'm gonna buy mostly the Kiko single shadows when it comes to like a powder formula. But I also have to mention, because I love glitter, I'm wearing one of these today, the shade Pop Off Pink from the e.l.f. glitter range. I'm just holding up a stack of them, but I would just probably pick up one that I could use every single day just to kind of start rebuilding my collection. These are actually really pretty. And like I said, I have the Pop Off Pink, so you have a hint of pink, but the fine kind of glitter is what I like about it, because it's not like big pieces, it's not jagged, they're smooth. They just look like crushed diamonds on the eye, and when the light hits your eye and it just kind of glows, it is so incredibly beautiful. Some have a little bit more transparency to them. And there's a couple other shades, like this one specifically. This one is called Filthy Rich. This one actually has quite a bit of depth and pigment to it, plus the glitter. So I would definitely pick up one of these glitter shadows from e.l.f. And then moving into the palette style of eyeshadows, I would definitely pick up one of these bite-sized palettes from e.l.f. This one specifically is the one that I would buy, Truffles, because it has all the basic tones, some matte shades, and one shimmer shade that's kind of like a taupey silvery gray there. But you have basics for crease work, for transitions, for smoky brown eyes, for a smoky eye with using black or eyeliner. And this is just a couple bucks. I want to say these are $4, so I would definitely add it to my collection of products that I would use. And I would use these shades, like the matte ones, to build like dimension and depth in the crease if I was going to do a shadow stick, or maybe like I did today with one of the glitter shadows, or even with the Kiko. I would go with something like this that gives me some basic colors to kind of create some shape and dimension to my eye. But then for palettes, I'm going to show you 2 options because they are quite different. I like using palettes because I like to be able to just open it up, see options, and have it all laid out right in front of me. Not everybody likes that, so I did include my singles that I would definitely buy for those of you who want singles, who want a less is more approach. Maybe you don't want palettes, maybe you don't like them, and that's okay too. So I wanted to share with you the 2 palettes at the drugstore that I would purchase. The first one is from Morphe. This is the Going Platinum palette, and that's what that shade range looks like. Very cool tone, which is why I chose it. I have 2 of these mattes in my crease today with the glitter shadow from e.l.f. on top. So that's what I have on, and then I used a little bit of this on my lower lashes. So I like the cool tones. I've been into them very lately. And then I would definitely buy the 1111 from Colourpop. This you can buy online or at Ulta stores. This one has those basic everyday shades, and it leans a little bit more on the warmer side versus the Morphe. So I would like to be able to have 2 palettes that can give me 2 different options. Some cool kind of tones, some warm tones. Just throw in a nice mix, and I think that these 2 palettes, I wouldn't really need, honestly, to buy anything else. Let's go ahead and zip through brows, liner, and lashes. So for brows, I have a couple of products. The first one that I would definitely buy is the Super Lock Brow Gel from Maybelline. I have been doing the laminating technique where I put this on first, comb the brows, get them in place, let that dry, and then fill it in. So I would definitely buy that because this is a must-have. And I would buy one of these 2. I absolutely love brow pens. Today I use my NYX Lift and Snatch in the shade Ash Brown. This was my very first eyebrow pen. Not this one specifically. My old one kind of busted after travel, and so I threw it away. But this was the first brand that I tried for a brow pen. Now, I love my Maybelline Build-A-Brow, so I would pick one or the other. If this was not in stock, I would definitely buy this. Or knowing how I am, I'm always extra with everything. I'd probably buy both of them when I was rebuilding my collection because I just love these. I wear Ash Brown in here and Ash Brown in NYX. For eyeliner, I would just buy one liquid liner, and it's the Epic Ink formula from NYX. This is the best liquid liner at the drugstore. I would pick one that I could wear every single day, and this is the shade Milk Chocolate, which is what I have on right now. I can wear this shade with cool tones and also with warmer tones because this shade, Milk Chocolate, is a nice kind of rich, deep, dark brown, but it's not too warm and it's not too cool tone. It's just right. It's like a neutral tone that kind of goes with everything. So that's why I would buy this one. And the formula on this, honestly, I don't think it can be beat. Not even high end. Not even high end. It's just that good. Mascaras, I would choose two different options. I would go with the Color Stay Full-Time Mascara from Revlon. This, in my opinion, is the best mascara Revlon has ever done. Ever, ever. And I've tried lots of their mascaras. I think I've tried every single one. And I've never been a fan. Don't get along with their mascaras? Absolutely not. This gives me length, volume, thickness, everything. It checks off every single box. I'm wearing this right now, and it gives me the look of thicker lashes, fuller lashes, from inner to outer corner. It makes them look like false eyelashes. It's just one of those really, really great formulas that I would definitely repurchase in a heartbeat. And when I run out of this, I will restock that as well. But then I also would buy a tubing formula, and this is the best tubing formula at the drugstore. This is the Lash Extender from e.l.f. This is an alternative or a dupe to my high-end version from Tarte that I absolutely love. That's always going to be in my collection. But because we're talking drugstore, I would definitely pick this up. This is a great tubing formula. Comes off very easily with just some warm soapy water or even just regular warm water. And it comes off in little tubes so you don't have raccoon eyes. So if you have runny eyes, if you have allergies, if you want something that wears well for the summer, for a vacation, a trip, this is what you need. And it also builds nicely. I do 2 coats. And I would say if you want to build up this formula or any tubing formula, I would just start with 1 coat first, go back in, get some more, and go with that second coat so that it doesn't fully dry that first coat, and then do the same thing on the other eye. Instead of doing 1 coat, and then going back for the second, what I typically do with regular formulas. That's just a tip with this formula that's a tubing formula. So those two, definitely yes. Pause for another coffee break because now we get to talk about lip products. And boy, do I have a selection for you. I had to. If I lost everything, I would have to buy these. Now I'm going to show you some of my favorite shades, but you can pick this formula if you're interested in it in a tone that you like, that you feel comfortable wearing. But for me, I would have to buy all of these. I would definitely have to buy all of these. So let's start off with lip liners. I have 2 formulas. The lifter liners from Maybelline. I have Line Leader on today. It's like my lips but better. It's a must. No brainer there. And then of course the L'Oreal Color Riche in the shade called Worth It. Again, my lips but better. A no-brainer. Both of these are creamy, pigmented. They glide on. They stay on. They're smooth. This is a newer formula though from Maybelline, the lifter one. And this actually blew me away when this launched. I believe it was last year. And it's so good. I think these two are the best. I just can't get enough of it. They're the best from the drugstore. That's it. That's all I gotta say. For lipsticks, I think that when I go to the drugstore to rebuild, I would most definitely go to Revlon. The Super Lustrous lipstick line is absolutely incredible. Nothing beats this. Nothing even comes close to the colors, the range, the finishes, the options that you have are absolutely endless. So you can pick a shade that suits you best, and it's affordable. Super inexpensive. It's probably one of the cheaper products in this grouping. This here is like the most amazing nude. It's called Bare It All number 755. I have both of these lipsticks on. I will show you. So the nude one, the Bare It All, has just a hint of warmth. And then Primrose, which has that cool tone pink, which I absolutely love. I will swatch them both. Let me do that for you. So you can see those 2 tones there. So here's the nude, Bare It All, and then here is that cool tone pink called Primrose. So I mixed both of those today with the Line Leader liner from Maybelline, and that's my main lip combo for the day. I would definitely buy both of these. So I would have to, because they give me together mixed really pretty, but then individually 2 different looks. Something a little slightly warm, still nude, but then something that satisfies that cool tone pink, because I've been into that a lot lately. Now let's move into some lip glosses. I have to definitely, absolutely get e.l.f. lip oils. And if I didn't, something is definitely wrong with me, because this is the best lip oil formula. I have almost every single shade. They have creamy shades. They have sparkly shades. I would blow most of my budget in these, okay? I would blow most of my budget in these. Look at how beautiful those colors are. So out of all of the ones that I own in the glitter formula, I would definitely pick Candy Coated, which is that light baby pink with blue, purple iridescent sparkle to it. I would definitely get the shade Princess Cut, which is a little bit more pink and just slightly more warm compared to this one that's a little bit more cool tone. That's that Candy Coated. The newest shade for their shade extension, it's Guava, or it's Giving Guava, is absolutely stunning. You cannot go wrong with any single color in that e.l.f. oil formula. That lip oil formula is the best. It's top tier. That is hands down my favorite product from e.l.f. that they've ever launched, sold. That is it. You have to try those. Now, for glosses that are kind of different, also plumping, let's start with the glitter one. So the Glimmer Glosses from Revlon, these are also fairly new. These are a typical gloss formula like the Super Lustrous Gloss. It's a little bit thicker, it kind of hangs on. But the glitter in this is a plant-based glitter, which is very different, very unique. And I would pick one shade that I can use with any sort of lip combination with these products that I would do. So this specific shade here, if I can read it, oh my gosh, Diamond Drama. Diamond Drama, which has some iridescence to it, but the base is mostly clear. So beautiful. I love this formula. Need I say more? If you've been here watching my videos, you already know. You already know. The Plumping Lip Oils from L'Oreal, an absolute must. Again, if I don't buy this and these, something is definitely wrong with me. Send help, okay? This is, I'm wearing it right now. I've been wearing this every single day. The shade Worth It, that's the gloss that it's giving that fullness, that juiciness, that pouty look to the lips, fills in the lines, actually plumps where you can see it. You feel something happening, but it doesn't burn. It's not painful, to me at least. So try it. The formula, they knocked it out of the park. Absolutely. And then my last lip product, I would definitely pick up a Lip IV from NYX. This, in my opinion, is the most unique lip product ever at the drugstore. It's a gloss, it's a lipstick, it's a treatment, it's a balm, it's a stain. It's all of that all in one. It feels incredible when you put this on, and I love this formula. And when it kind of fades and goes away, you're left with a stain that you could just put a clear gloss over top, or a lip balm, some chapstick, Aquaphor, or just leave it and walk around with just stained lips. It's beautiful. And lastly, let's throw in some highlighters. I've got a cream and I've got a powder. Both of them are from L'Oreal. Of course, like I said, my favorite brand at the drugstore. So I would get the highlighter stick. The shade specifically, though, that I would purchase is Glowing Sparkly Rosé, number 640, and it's the Lay Glow. They have the Lay Glow and the Lay Glass. The Lay Glass is going to give you that glazed donut. It's going to be that mirror shine. It's going to look wet, balmy, like you just put greasy Aquaphor on your cheekbones or wherever you put this on. So this is a little bit creamy, a little softer. That's what I have on now. Stunning, absolute, definite. I would buy that. And then for the powder, it's also from L'Oreal. It's the Infallible Fresh Wear Highlighter, the High Radiant Finish Powder Highlighter. The shade specifically, though, is Champagne Glow. The packaging is pretty cool. It has like that iridescent silver on it. It's very cool. That's what it looks like. And this is not for the faint of heart, okay? I'm telling you, this will give you glow where they will see you in outer space. But if you kind of scale it back, pick up just a tiny bit, you can get that soft, light kind of sheen, just like a hint of glow. But you can definitely go there with this. So tread softly with this. But this formula, I'm going to say it again. Their products from L'Oreal are just like high-end, if not better. It's the high-end formulas with the drugstore price point. And this is no exception. Look at that. Look at the glow. Stop, right? Love it. And those are all the products that I would immediately go to the store and purchase or order online. If I lost everything, this is it. Hands down, this is, I think, the best of the best. And I have so much product in my collection. And for these products to be standouts, to be reached for every day, says a lot. I hope this video was helpful and enjoyable to watch. Let me know in the comments what are your must-haves. If you lost all of your makeup products, what are the first products that you would go out and purchase? I would love to know. And if I haven't tried those products, I would like to try them and maybe put it into a video. I think that would be a fun idea. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for being here, for watching, for being you. Don't forget to subscribe. I post every Tuesday and every Friday. And you can follow me over on Instagram. Username pops up here. And also on TikTok, all of that. And the links to everything are in the description box. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.